everyone, welcome to our 2023 predictions reading. I did a reading just like this for the year 2022 and it was one of my favorites by far. I found it so useful, I know others of you did too, and it was one that I kept going back to throughout the year to check in with, and it was always so accurate and so helpful. So I am so excited to be doing another one for this year. In this reading, we're going to be looking into general energies, what you can expect generally speaking. We're also going to be looking into love energies, career energies, and then I'm going to be finishing off the reading with some advice from Spirit. So these are your 3 selections right here. You can choose whichever deck is calling out the most to you. Please take some time to center yourself, to take a couple deep breaths, and then really go with your gut, with your intuition. I've already recorded each of the readings and they all have a very different energy, so make sure you go with your gut feeling. Also remember guys, these are general readings, so keep that in mind. If you would like a personalized reading just for you, looking into 2023, I would be more than happy to do that for you. I will leave my information below and you can contact me if you're interested. So take your time, pause the video if you need more time to choose, and I'll see you at your reading. Hey everyone, welcome to your reading if you chose pile number 1 or this deck right here. So today we are going to look into your 2023. What can you expect for 2023? Again, we're going to be looking into the general energies, love energies, career energies, and we will be finishing the reading off with advice from Spirit. So I'm super excited to get into it. So let's get started right away with general energies. What can we expect, generally speaking, in 2023? Any general themes? What will the general energy be? Maybe something that you'll be working on throughout the year, working on or working through. Let's see what comes up. We have the Tower. Pretty big energy coming from Jump with this one. This is like a whole new camera setup that I have that actually my son made me aware of, and I was like, yes. I've been wanting to do like the overhead angle for some time, but I didn't think I had the equipment. And look at that, I just was using what I had wrong. Well, not wrong, but I thought I needed like an extra attachment to get this angle, and then my son was like, he was making a time-lapse video building like a Lego set, and this is how he set it up, and I was like, oh my god, this is genius. So now I have like this amazing camera angle and I'm just excited about it. But it is like new, so I'm still adjusting to it. Okay, and one more. Okay, so general energies for 2023. I'm seeing here that you might be starting off this year with like kind of a rocky type of an energy. Like there is some kind of like instability here. Maybe there was some kind of disruption here that you've been enduring, some type of breaking down where something may not have been working any longer, and so you have to kind of move on from it, and you are just now currently in the midst of like working your way through the muck, through the really big heavy changes that are happening here. Maybe you're realizing that something that has been established, some kind of like a system or something that you've been a part of, is just no longer working, and you have to kind of make changes here for yourself moving forward, because we have a lot of like new beginning type of energy here. But I'm loving the 6 of Cups here that I see in the middle, because it's showing me that there's kind of like a good energy here. So whatever it is that you're going through, either you have like a lot of support from your family, from your friends, from those that really genuinely care about you, or you know, you have like a really good outlook about it. Like maybe you're like happy about this change, even though it's bringing with it a lot of like chaotic energy potentially. It's almost like despite that, you're like so ready for this, and you're actually moving out of this in a very graceful and a very optimistic way. Like you have a really good mindset about it. Like if all of us could have this kind of energy while we move and shift through difficult moments in our life, we'd all be golden. This is like the hard part, is moving through difficulties with like this type of sweet and peaceful energy where you're just kind of like anticipating good things, and where you feel like, you know what, there's still good in the world, there's still good that exists, something good can come out of this, where you're just like very hopeful and very optimistic, and you trust in your world and in your universe, and you just trust in what's to come. Like you're trusting that if this is happening, it's for a reason, it's for the best. And I just see you like being ready to move on from this, because again, maybe this was something that you were enduring or were a part of for a really long time, and you just, like for you to have this kind of energy, I'm assuming that you are just, that whatever it is that broke down, like that it wasn't working anymore, like that it had to go, and it's almost like you're relieved and you're happy that you're finally going to be able to move on from this, because it's kind of like staying inside of a house that is creaking, that is shaking, that is falling apart piece by piece. Like, are you going to stay in that house until it completely disintegrates over your head? Or are you going to take those cues, like take those signs of like, okay, the house is shaking, it's creaking, it's moving, it's falling apart bit by bit. Let me get my things, let me get out of here. Let me self-preserve, So I think this is like the energy of 2023 for you. It's self-preservation. Like you're seeing like what's working, what's not. You're seeing an unstable foundation. You're taking those signs and you're considering them into like your plans and how you choose to move forward. You're being very practical, very reasonable, very rational here. You're dealing with conflict and with an uncomfortable situation with so much grace, I have to say. So again, maybe you are blessed with a lot of support around you as you move through this shift. And if that's not the case, you're just handling this so well. And either you're happy, like you feel like free, like you're finally free and getting out of something that was harmful, or you are just very aware of how something was just no longer functioning anymore. Those are just the plain facts. So it's time for you to move on. Like it's something that became very clear that this is the direction that you need to take. And I see you just standing in your power, taking the steps you need to take, doing what it is that you need to do, being fully in control. And you're planning ahead. You're planning for the future. You're planning for this new beginning, and you're doing so with a very clear perspective, clear outlook. Like on top of being very positive and optimistic about what's to come, you're also thinking very clearly. I feel like you are problem solving very well. Like you're really navigating this situation in a really strong way, like mentally. You're able to strategize and you're able to make really good decisions, really good choices based off of the facts of the situation, based off of the truth, what's right in front of you. You're not getting too caught up in feeling hurt or feeling sad or feeling depressed or feeling like everything is falling apart or feeling like it's the end of the world. It's kind of like you're putting on your boots, you're seeing the issue at hand, you're coming up with a solution to this problem, and you're going to put it into motion. You're going to put it into action, and you're going to move forward. You're ready for something else. You're ready for a new beginning. You're ready to start something else. I see you being emotionally ready, mentally prepared, and equipped, as well as just you have this inner drive to just push ahead, to move forward. There's definitely big renewal energy here, new beginnings, and a lot of energy that's showing me that you have to make decisions, you have to make choices, you have to make judgment calls, and I see you being fully equipped and ready to show up in the way that you need to show up so that you can get a favorable outcome here in this situation. So 2023 is looking very productive for you. If you're looking for a change, a new beginning in some area, this is what these cards are showing me, that you're going to be in the right headspace and you're going to be taking good actions towards this new beginning, towards this new start. Maybe you've taken some time to like really process this, to really think this through, to really lay out all of your options, weigh everything out. And I see like now it's like you already took that time. You maybe already like paused to reflect, to make sure you're seeing the situation, like the bigger picture. You're seeing all of the components of the situation, taking everything into consideration. And I think like you're at the point where you have a solution. You've reached a conclusion and now it's time to execute. So 2023, it looks like it's a year to execute whatever it was that you took time to like think about and to plan out. So those are the general energies. Let's move on then. Let's see what's coming up in love for 2023. What can you expect in love for 2023? Got one card over here. Oops. Okay, so the energies for love 2023. So what I'm seeing here, now this part of the reading can definitely be linked to the first part, the general of like leaving something behind, being ready to start something new, like leaving behind some conflict, right? Because what I'm seeing majorly here with these cards is cutting something off that was long-term, was long-lasting. Again, there's like an energy here that it may have been something established. So if you had a relationship like this where you may have felt stuck in it, like maybe you were in a relationship that wasn't the best for you, you know, maybe you had to take certain things, you know, like you were taking things that weren't fair, you know, like maybe the relationship wasn't reciprocal or it wasn't fair in some way, or you had to endure some bad behavior, but you may have felt like trapped in your situation, like you didn't know how to get out of it, how to exit the relationship. You weren't sure if you were going to be okay or if things were going to work out. Maybe you guys had like a codependency issue here. So either you're completely like removing yourself from a long-term established relationship that just was no longer working, or you're going to start really working on the relationship, you know, to get better, to balance out any areas that were misaligned. Maybe you're choosing to work on this conflict. That could be a very real possibility here as well. Like wherever this relationship was lacking, wherever you felt defeated in this relationship, it's like now you're taking an honest look and you're taking real steps and real actions to get the help that you need to help this relationship progress forward in the best way, whether that means together with somebody, you know, where you guys can heal, can come together, can make the situation better, you know, can renew the situation, can handle a relationship in an entirely different way where both parties are being considered and honored and respected and supported. Or you guys can choose to decide that the best way forward is to be apart, to separate. But I am definitely seeing like addressing any like problem areas when it came to your love life. Like you're taking the steps, you're taking the actions to really address this. So in those areas where you may have felt like stuck before and like you didn't know what to do, you didn't know kind of like how to handle it, you didn't know what steps to take, you have help now, you have support, whether that's coming from you, You know, maybe you did some of your own healing and now like your perspective has changed, or whether that's coming from people around you. It could even be that you're seeing a professional, that you're seeing a therapist that's helping you kind of like navigate your way through this, you know? But I just see that instead of feeling helpless and like you can't do anything, like your hands are tied, I feel like now you have a better it's just like a more optimistic perspective where you feel like I can do this. Even if I don't know the initial steps all by myself, you know, it's like you're giving yourself compassion, you're giving yourself grace to be a beginner, to learn along the way, even to allow yourself to make mistakes, you know. Sorry if you can hear the background noise. I think there's like work being done in my neighborhood. I just see you being so surrounded by love. So either you have like a lot of family and friends or people that love you around you, helping you, supporting you, cheering you on, or you've done some really great work on yourself that you're able to show up for yourself and be that support system for yourself, and you're able to change this perspective from like helplessness to just being compassionate with yourself and like doing the best you can with what you have, and knowing that you're only going to get better with experience, and understanding that maybe you don't have all of the answers and maybe you are just a beginner in some way here, but it's okay because we all have to start somewhere. And it's like you're giving yourself room to, I'm hearing like tread lightly, like you're giving yourself the room to test the waters, to try, you know, a different approach, a different method, and to kind of just play it by ear, you know, like trial and error. Like, is it working or is it not? Should I continue making movements forward, or do I need to retrace, go back a little, shift, you know, like I heard pivot. Like, I feel like you're just figuring it out as you go, and you're very, very heavily supported right now, whether it's from actual physical people in your life or even if it's just from spirit. Like, you are not alone in this process. Spirit is here. There's a lot of good energy surrounding you, a lot of like unconditional love, support. So, you know, for all of you, it's going to manifest differently in the way that the support comes through. But at the very least, if you don't have any like physical people around you or like a professional helping you, Spirit is heavily involved here, and they're guiding you and they're showing you the way. You know, they're very close to you at this time and in communication with you, like giving you signs, synchronicities, placing the right people at the right time, the right information that you need so that you can successfully make your way forward, okay? But I am seeing like, I'm hearing the word reduction, but no, I don't think that's the right word. It's like I am seeing like maybe it is reduction, like a reduction of responsibility, like somewhere where you were very responsible for something, it's like you're not going to be responsible for it anymore. You may have been responsible for something for a really long time, or it could even just be like you may have been like committed to this relationship for a really long time, and now you're finally ready to face the dysfunction, to face what's not working in the relationship. And you're not afraid anymore to let this go. You don't feel like stuck here anymore. You're seeing that there's hope, that there's a way forward, that you can be happy, you can thrive, you can be successful, even if it's outside of this relationship where you may have not felt that way before, where you may have felt in the past like, I can only survive and thrive as long as I'm in this relationship. So maybe you kind of felt like you had to turn a blind eye to the things that weren't working, to the unfairness in the relationship, or to like the dysfunction, to the discrepancies. And you just felt like, yeah, you know, I'm not happy, and these aren't ideal circumstances. This isn't what I would want, but there's nothing I can do. Like, this is my situation. I just have to stay here. That perspective is changing. Like, now you're seeing you do have options. You're seeing a clear way forward. You're optimistic, and you know that you're going to be okay, whether it's in this relationship or not. Because for some of you, it could be that you guys are just trying to like fix a relationship, trying to mend a relationship. Maybe you're going to like counseling or something. But for others of you, it's like you're at the place where you're just ready to like let something go. You're ready to move on from something that you may have been involved in for a really long time, and where you couldn't see a way forward, or where you felt helpless to make any real changes here. All of that is changing, and you are seeing a way forward, and you are seeing that it's possible for you to still survive and thrive and be happy even outside of this relationship. And you're kind of like excited for the journey. Like, you're excited to do this, you know, like it's like you're a student and it's all very brand new, but you're ready to learn, to do what you have to do. And maybe it's this situation that you're going through that is growing you, that is helping you to become more mentally capable, you know, to like make good decisions, to be more logical, to be more strategic, to plan effectively. Because, like, you know, nobody is born with these gifts. I mean, of course, some of us are predisposed to certain skills more than others, of course. But I mean, like, in this case, it's kind of like where you felt like, I have no idea what to do. I've never had to think about this. I've never had to think about doing this on my own. Like, that's usually someone else's responsibility. I have no idea. It's like now you're learning things that you maybe weren't responsible for. You're learning how things work, how things function, so that you can be in the best position to make the best choices for yourself moving forward. And it's like you're learning, you're kind of growing that muscle because you're using it now, of needing to be like a strong thinker, a strong problem solver, a strong communicator, hold certain boundaries, make really fair and balanced decisions, and kind of like mature, you know, like mature and grow up, level up. Definitely, like you're growing, you're leveling up, you're maturing due to this situation here. You're gaining skills, you're like building up skills that you didn't have before, because it's like now you have to. You're in the position where now you have to show up, you have to learn how to do something, and you're ready for it. You're ready to take on the responsibility. You're ready to enter this new phase of your life where you're more in control of it, where you're like the one making decisions for yourself, potentially. And I'm seeing that you're going to have options too. Like, I'm seeing that there are going to be options here. There's like an abundance of options and love and support. And I think you're just ready to move on from something that wasn't giving to you what you deserved or was lacking in some way. You're ready to move on from something that you felt stuck in. Like, maybe you just felt like you weren't getting your fair share, at least, you know, something like this. So this is really good energy, a lot of like starter energy, renewal energy, new beginnings, stepping into your power, growing up, having like this energy of like inner knowingness. Like, you're learning how to do something, you're learning how to strengthen certain like skills, or just flat out like learning new skills. And you're growing, you're only getting better by stepping into like the unknown and stepping into what's scary. It's like that quote says, "And the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom." You're understanding that life is a process of becoming, and you're no longer willing to like stay in whatever situation you were in before, because it was like that example I gave you before. It's like staying in a house that you know is falling down, that you know is crumbling down. Are you going to stay in it so it can fall on top of you, or are you going to like take the cues and get out of there so you can self-preserve? You're understanding that you have to take risks to move forward in life and to actually live. You no longer just want to exist and want to be like a victim of your circumstances. I see you being ready to take control, and you're realizing that all of the hardships you had to go through is what ultimately strengthens you, strengthens your character. It's what like forces you out of your shell and helps you to level up and mature and learn new things. So it's actually a very beautiful, inspired energy that I'm seeing here, just as a whole in your reading so far. So just know, like, Spirit wants you to know that you have options. You have so many options. You have so many like different paths and different doors that you can open, that you can go down. And you're like building that mental capacity to be able to really discern and to make really good choices for yourself. So don't worry. You're kind of like a student on this journey. You're still learning, but you're exactly where you need to be. and going through like the growing experiences that you have to go through to level up in yourself and in your life, okay? So yeah, this looks like a big theme here in terms of love for 2023. You're becoming stronger, you're becoming better, and it's all through process. So just stay patient. You're a student on this journey. It's like maybe you're just starting this journey of being alone, and so I don't see too much. I see that you have options in love for sure, but I just don't see that you're in that place. I see like that you're kind of detaching yourself from something that was like falling apart and unstable and chaotic and just wasn't it for you. It wasn't making you happy, but you finally have like the courage and the strength and the support and the awareness and the mental capacity to make good choices to navigate your way out and to move forward here and to kind of like become your own person and learn how to rely on yourself, you know? Okay, so let's move on then to career. Let's see what you can expect for career for 2023. Have the Two of Cups, the Moon, okay, career, okay, wow. I think your focus, is on self. Like, I think you're focusing on getting yourself strong, coming into connection with yourself, with your higher self, building that relationship with yourself. You know, again, like you're learning how to rely on yourself, how to support yourself, how to be more like independent, you know, so that you're not focusing or relying on anything external to like fill some void. So I think you're definitely more so focusing on your emotional state this year and on strengthening yourself, strengthening your character, and like, you know, figuring out, like asking yourself all of those important questions, like what are my values? What am I going to prioritize? What makes me the happiest? So that you can become aware of like the directions that you want to move in, so that you can become aware of what actions will be the best to take, will be the most beneficial to take, so that you can manifest just fulfillment, you know, so that you can get closer to fulfillment here. It's like a very intuitive year, a very deep year of just like self-reflection, looking internally, looking at like what makes you tick, what are your triggers, what are, you know, how do you cope with certain things, learning healthier methods of coping. You're just becoming stronger, like a stronger individual. You're working on yourself, and this is what needs to happen. So if there's not like a super strong focus on career this year, it's because you need your energy to put into this work that you're doing. It's like you're rebuilding a stronger foundation, and it starts with yourself. It starts with your body, your emotional state, your mental health. And Spirit is showing me that you have all of the resources and you have everything you need right now to like take this on, to get on this path and to do this work, this internal like self-help, self-growth type of energy that I'm seeing here. Yeah, like I'm seeing that right now, like this year is not a super big year for you to make money or to like make like some big financial breakthroughs or to find like the career of your dreams. It's like there is a huge emphasis on like your spirituality or your mental health or just getting yourself in a stronger position, in a better place where you can then approach these things with more clarity and from a place of knowingness. It's kind of like, you know, when you first graduate high school and then you don't really know what you want to go to school for. Like if you decide that you are going to college, you just kind of pick whatever career. And then throughout the process, you keep changing, like switching your major because like you weren't really sure. So you can end up wasting a lot of time and money. Sometimes a lot of people they can go to school and then they can get their degree in something that they're just completely uninterested in the future. And it was because like they hadn't grown yet, they hadn't matured yet. Their brains probably weren't even like fully developed. So it led them to choose something that in the future they wouldn't even like be remotely interested in doing. Where you are now, it's like you're doing the work, like the groundwork that it's going to take to get yourself to a place where you're going to be so solid, so sure, so mature. So you're going to be like so clear about the direction you want to take in life. But it's like you have to do work. Like there are stepping stones that you need to get through in order to get to that place where you have that discernment to know exactly what it is that you want to do. It's like you're going through those initial steps to build that solid foundation. You still have to like clear out through a lot of gunk. You're still clearing the muck out. You're still kind of like cleaning things up here before you can find yourself in that place. The work is very foundational. It's like you're starting from the ground up, and it starts internally, this work. You're getting yourself right from the inside. I'm hearing Lauryn Hill. How you gonna win if you ain't right within? Exactly, like you're getting yourself right within. So then when you've done this work and when you step out, like you're ready to win. But for now, this is what you are being guided to like pour your energy into and to focus on, is doing this internal healing work of becoming stronger in yourself, becoming more self-sufficient, more self-efficient, learning to count on yourself, rely on yourself, and learning how to make that be enough, where you're not looking for anything external, or you're not codependent, and anything that you need to learn, you're learning it as it pertains to your own self-preservation or your own survival. Like you're learning how to be completely independent and how to be completely okay on your own, which honestly I think is the work we all need to do before we think about getting in relationships or trying to build up a career. It would be super ideal to like come at those things from this place after doing this kind of work. And this is what you're doing. So when you are ready to approach love or career endeavors, it has more of a chance of being like successful because you're going to have clear vision for yourself, and you're going to be connected with spirit, and you're going to allow yourself to merge with what is meant for you, and to just trust that everything is going to work out. Everything will align exactly as it needs to. So yeah, you're definitely just like on that journey of learning how to be more independent, learning how to survive all on your own, being strong within yourself. Okay, you guys, that's beautiful. So let's see if there's any additional messages of advice or something else that Spirit would like to highlight for you at this time. Just what would Spirit like to leave you with? We have the 7 of Coins. Spirit is saying that this is a process. Be patient. It is completely worth investing into. They want you to do this work and to understand that you're not going to get answers and revelations overnight. It's a process. It takes time. It's an unfolding. Some of you might be going through your Saturn return, I'm hearing. So some of you may be between the ages like 28 to 30 right now. This is when we have our Saturn return, or we have another Saturn return like in our 60s, I think in our mid 60s. So you might be finding yourself in one of these age groups. If you are, then it's probable that you're going through a Saturn return. So you may want to look into that. But yeah, Spirit is just saying like, be patient. This isn't going to happen overnight, which we saw like these energies were consistent throughout the reading, through each section of the reading. Like, so we know that this is kind of something that's infiltrating your whole life, right? Like all parts of your life. This is this work that you're doing. Yeah, Spirit is saying that there are things you have to work through. There are things that are still holding you back, that are still binding you, harmful, belief systems, harmful core beliefs that you may have, possibly addictions that you need to get over, just things that are binding, that are keeping you stuck. There's things that you need to work through. So it is going to take time, because these are like really hardwired, like deep rooted things, like patterns and traumas and wounds that you have inside of you that are influencing how you think and how you respond to things. But you're doing the work. I see together with people. I don't see you being alone or doing this on your own. I see you having help. I see you being like surrounded by a group of like minds, and yeah, like these people around you, they're helping you. They're helping you to kind of like move forward, to let go of anything that's harmful, that isn't working. They're helping you to gain perspective, to gain clarity. These people are definitely helping you to step into your power, to like be determined, to be disciplined, to win, to know that you can win, that you can thrive, that you can succeed. You can do whatever you put your mind to. You have the support of the universe, of God, of spirit, of these people, these friends that you have around you that you may work with or that are your family, that are helping you out here on your journey, helping you progress, helping you move forward, helping you let go of the things that you need to let go of, helping you to like become more selfish, even like become selfish, to think about yourself, to think about your well-being and what actions you need to take to prioritize your well-being, your happiness, your victory. So if you don't have this group around you, know that it's coming. I see help. I see that you have a group around you, you have help, you have people that care about you and that want to see you win. And maybe these people are doing this work themselves, or maybe you're like a part of like a group therapy or something. But I do see a group here. And I see you guys potentially like working on similar things, or you're with people that maybe have already done this and can impart a lot of wisdom, can help you on your journey. Or you guys are kind of like supporting each other while each of you is on your own individual journey, but then you guys can like come together and share what each of you is going through. And like in that sense, you guys are helping each other. It's like everyone is just like helping each other to thrive and to grow respectively. But I do see a lot of cooperation and a lot of support. Okay, so just be patient, stay in your process. I know this work can be really difficult, but the fact that you're here and you're willing to do it, to face yourself, to face what's inside and work on creating like, you know, an internal environment that's going to be more supportive of your fulfillment and of your happiness and living out your purpose is absolutely amazing. So thank you for doing this work, for showing up, for doing this for yourself, because as you know, when you do this work for yourself, you're also influencing those around you, your own sphere of influence. You're touching them and helping them also, even if it's just with your, you know, more improved personality or the wisdom that you have now. In whatever way it is that you're going to be of service to those around you, like we heal for ourselves and also for the collective. So thank you for doing this work, for being brave. It takes a lot of bravery and a lot of courage. You are being held, guided, supported. I'm here for you as well if you ever need anything. I also offer personal readings. If you need any more insight or any guidance, clarity, direction, I'm also here for you too, as someone that has also been on this journey. Okay, so consider me part of your soul fam as well. It was a pleasure reading these cards for you. These were your messages. This is what you can expect for 2023. It is just so groundbreaking, so expansive, and so beautiful. So I am giving you all of my love, big hugs. Take good care of yourself. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I hope to see you again around here soon. Bye. Hey guys, welcome to your reading. If you chose number 2 or this deck right here, this is your reading for what you can expect in 2023. We are going to pull cards for just general energies that you can expect, general themes that may be playing out, what you may be focusing on this year. Sorry if you can hear any like outside noises. There's a lot of outside noise. I think a lot of work being done in my neighborhood. Aside from general energies, we're also going to be looking into love energies. What can you expect in love for 2023? And then we're also going to be looking into career. What can you expect as far as career goes in 2023? And then we're going to end the reading with some advice from Spirit, anything they want you to take away or highlight for you at this time, okay? So let's get started then with general energies. What are the general energies that you can expect for 2023? This is actually like a brand new camera angle that I'm trying out today for the first time. My son actually was the one that gave me the idea, which I think is genius. I've been wanting to do a camera angle like this for a while, but I thought that I needed to like buy another attachment or something. And turns out I already had everything I needed. I just wasn't using it in the way that I could to get this angle. So I'm so happy to try it, but it's like brand new. So I'm still trying to get used to it. But I think it's a way better angle. What do you guys think? You can like see the cards overhead. I think that's cool. But okay, let's get into this. So what can you expect generally for 2023? I'm seeing you finally being ready to start demanding more for yourself, being able to like see your worth, to consider what it is that you want, to consider how it is that you want to be treated, and to stop accepting less. You're no longer going to take people's crap, people's poor treatment, or, other people's inability to show up and to do their part. Or I just feel like you're the type of person that maybe you had to like hold a lot of the weight. You had to carry a lot of the weight, because you are so capable and because you do care so much about like equality and about the fairness of things and about other people and other people's experiences and all of that stuff. So maybe you were kind of like taken advantage of or taken for granted in certain situations where you ended up getting like the short end of the stick because you were such a good person or because you're so capable, that maybe other people around you felt like they could slack off or felt like you were going to handle it. Like if they were lacking in anything, it was like, whatever, like it doesn't matter that I'm not good at this, or it doesn't matter that I'm not facing this or doing what's expected of me, because so-and-so, my beautiful group number twos can handle it, can do it themselves or can provide that themselves. Or maybe you have like this reputation for, again, like wanting to keep the peace, wanting to keep things fair, so people know that about you, so they'll purposefully, even if it's not purposefully, they're not afraid to step out of line or to cross the line or to cross your boundaries, because they know like, oh, she's not the type of person to rock the boat. Like if she doesn't like something, or he, if she or he doesn't like something, they're not like the type of person to be confrontational or to point it out. Like I can get away with this type of behavior, and you're just putting a stop to it. You're just like, no more. Like you're not going to let people get away with bad behavior anymore, or with not doing their fair share, or not doing their part, or not carrying their weight. Like you're done like turning a blind eye to people's BS. You're now seeing your worth and your value, and you're done accepting less and like carrying other people's responsibilities. Like you're like, just because I can doesn't mean that I should, and it doesn't mean that I have to. Everyone needs to be responsible for themselves. And it's kind of like you're feeling like, I don't want to have to bear this burden anymore. People are going to have to do their part, pull their weight, show up correct, because you're done with it. You're not that person anymore that people can just like expect for you to turn a blind eye or to not point out their wrongdoings, or where they're, not being their best, doing their best, because you do have like this very like cooperative type of personality. And I just feel like people take advantage of it. You have so much love and compassion to give. You're a very nurturing person. You just care so much. And so you just naturally assume like, oh, well, maybe that person is going through a hard time. Like maybe there's a reason why they can't show up, and do their best. But now you're realizing that you kind of giving these people the benefit of the doubt hasn't really been working. I feel like you're gathering that kind of information, like where you're seeing like that, wow, like people are capable. It's like you're seeing like other areas of like how these people show up in other areas, and you're seeing that they really are capable. I feel like you're getting kind of like, you're gathering information and you're seeing like, wait a minute, maybe they're just being enabled. Maybe I'm the one enabling them, or they're just taking advantage at this point. So yeah, I see you, for 2023, the general energies is that you are going to be like very mindful, like you're going to have like an eye out, eyes and ears out, like for anything that's going on that is unfair, that is shady, that is dishonest, and you're going to put a stop to it. You're going to put an end to it. You're no longer going to enable that kind of behavior or environment, like a space for this to thrive. Like you're like, no, you want to figure out a way to like solve this problem and to maybe start holding people accountable, or maybe to start rocking the boat a little bit if you have to, if you have to be that person that does it. But you're considering yourself and you're seeing like, I'm a good person with so much to give and so much to offer, and I've looked out for so long and I just can't do it anymore. Because you're probably figuring out like that these people have no intentions of reciprocating that kind of energy back to you. And so things are not fair. So it's kind of like you try to keep the balance, you try to keep the peace by being like this really super compassionate and understanding presence. But in doing that, you're hurting yourself because things aren't fair to you. So inherently, you can't find any balance here, any peace here. In order for you to find balance and peace, it's like these people have to become responsible for themselves, or need to just straight up get called out on something. Or, you have to stop enabling. Like you have to stop, doing something or providing something if you know that it's not for the well-being of this person, because it's inhibiting them to have to rise to the occasion and to have to grow up and to have to like face their own things, or to, you know what I mean? So it's something along these lines. This is the general energy that's showing up for 2023. I do see like a major shift, a major transformation happening, but you're like kind of like when we go through endings, right? It's difficult, right? Like the ending part can be difficult, not always, but generally speaking, the ending part can be really difficult. The transformation part is difficult. But with every ending, we know comes a new beginning. And the new beginning can feel kind of like a breath of fresh air. It can feel really good. It can feel like a clean slate. But it's like we're not yet there where things feel good. It's like you're still needing to like end things, to cut things off, so it might not feel the best as you're doing that, as you're going through that process. But that's what I see, generally speaking, the energy for 2023. It's like cutting something off, ending something, transforming something, and just feeling like it's time, feeling like this is what needs to happen, this is what needs to get done, this is how this, like whatever problem it is that you're facing, this is the solution to it. I see you just trying to achieve balance here. You're trying to move forward, move on from doing something that wasn't working for a long time. It's like something wasn't working for a long time, but you just kept at it, kind of like not addressing the elephant in the room, not addressing the problem, but you can no longer go on like this. It's like coming to a realization like this has to stop, where you want to remove the poison. You want to really find a solution. You want to look at the problem now instead of turning a blind eye to it. You're going to look at it now. You're willing to face it, to look at it, to gather information, to observe, because you're looking for a solution to something in the effort and in the attempt to keep the peace, keep the balance. You know some interference has to happen here, okay? So that's general energies, very interesting. So let's move on then to love energies. What can you expect in love for 2023? So what can you expect in love for 2023? Wow, this is beautiful. Hold on, let me see what this moon is. Okay, I feel like something is definitely coming in for you. I feel like it's coming for you. Like someone is gonna come and like they want to take the initiative here. It's like they're going to be feeling very passionate about you, very just all about you. Like they're just gonna be very into you, and they're going to want to move things with you, to progress things with you, to initiate. They are in this very like passionate, fiery energy here. So they may be a fire sign, but not necessarily. Doesn't have to be. That could just be the energy that they're embodying. This person is going to like be very loving, very, I feel like they're going to be very gentle, very soft. Like towards you, they're going to be like very fiery and like very attracted and like excited about you, like excited to pursue you, and like just very like they're gonna come through with so much like enthusiasm. And I don't know, I want to say the word pizzazz, even though that's not really like a word that I ever say or use, but they're just going to be so into you, and they want to show you like how into you they are. They have no problem like laying their cards out on the table and showing you like how passionate they are about you, or like how much they want to like experience with you and try this out with you, like try a relationship with you. You guys may connect heavily at nighttime, or like talk at night, like after the workday is done, like after everyone is done doing like their daily responsibilities. You guys might then kind of connect, come together in the nighttime to talk, to be passionate together. Yeah, that's a possibility. It's just going to feel like very divine. I feel like intuitively you're feeling like this person is your person, and this person could have like multiple sides to them. Like I'm seeing that they could, you know, like be a certain age, but like they have like a youth to them. Like they have like this sense of adventure and this like youth energy to them despite their age. I'm seeing you guys like really doing a lot of stuff together, like traveling together, being on the move, just going to a lot of places together, like short trips, short weekend trips, or just like nighttime adventures or something like this. Maybe you guys go on a lot of dates at night, or a lot of dinner dates, or like adventurous dates. If you already have children, I feel like this person is going to be okay with like being a step parent. They want to show you like how capable they are of being a step parent and how willing they are to be a step parent. They're willing to accept your child as their own and to show your child a good time, to be like a good time. They just want to be like a really good, playful energy, adventurous energy. It's also possible that you're going to have more than one option for some of you. I'm seeing like you could have two options. Like you could have an older person and like a younger person. That's a possibility for some of you. You're going to have options here. And it could also be that you might have this person like friend zoned is another possibility. I'm seeing here like you might hang out a lot with this person, or talk a lot with this person, go out with this person, and this person might be really showing their interest towards you, you know, but maybe like the fact that they're so expressive and so like about you, like maybe that makes you pull back away a little bit, or it makes you kind of like keep them in the friend zone for a while or something like this, and they're just really trying to break free out of that. I don't know, this person just seems like a really nice person, a really understanding person, someone that can like really comfort you and really wants to help you, and they're just so attracted to you. Like this person just wants to like be there for you, you know, and be very passionate towards you. They're very excited about you, and they could be like a very comforting person. It's like they have this really big fire for you, and you might just feel very comforted by them. Like you might just really love their conversation because they're so supportive and so understanding and so loving. So it might take some time. Like if this ever does progress, it might take some time, you know, for someone to lean into that. But I do see like a union here. I do see something coming together, something happening, like opposites too. Like maybe you guys could be opposites. Like one of you guys is much more like emotional and like secluded and like introverted, and another one is more like extroverted and like loves to be out and loves to be doing things, loves to talk, you know, is more impulsive, is more adventurous, is more hands-on than the other one. So there could be like some, you know, the need to acclimate to like these difference in personalities for you guys to kind of like get used to each other and create like a good balance here between the two of you. But overall, I am seeing like really good energy here. Like you're definitely meant to meet this person or meant to let this person close to you, to allow them into your life. I feel like they help you with your self-esteem and with your confidence levels. Like maybe they're just constantly like so attracted to you and like telling you how good you look and all the things they want to do to you, you know. I don't know. You guys could be like talking dirty to each other, I don't know, at nighttime or something. And yeah, this could like really be making you feel really good about yourself or like gain more confidence in yourself. It could also be helping you to like bring out your playful side, you know, because this person seems to have such like a strong like playful energy to them, where they just like want to adventure and they want to experience and explore, and maybe like it awakens that up within you too, where then you're no longer afraid to kind of let your own inner child shine, and because like this person is influencing you to kind of like unleash and let loose and let that inner child come out, you know. If you're someone that is more repressed in that way, like, you know, more shy, more embarrassed, more reserved, I feel like they are going to be taking you out of your shell. Overall, I think this is a really good connection that I'm picking up on here, really good situation in love. It seems very stable. Like it's not just like a fast burn, you know, like where you're just so passionate about each other and things just move so quickly and as fast as it started, it burns out. Like it's not that kind of energy. It's kind of like a long-lasting, stable kind of an energy here, which is beautiful. It's so nice. Like who, you know, like who wouldn't want this? Like that fun, adventurous type of like excitement, but that lasts, you know. It's not just like a phase, or at least for this year, right? We're looking for 2023. And I feel like you guys are going to help each other in different ways, because like I mentioned, you guys may be like opposites or something in some way. So it's like you're helping this person in a certain way and this person is helping you in a certain way, and you guys are kind of like going through some kind of like alchemical shift within by just interacting with each other. It looks very divine, very fated, very loving, very pure, supportive. Like you guys can be very vulnerable with each other. You guys can tell each other your secrets, your triggers, you know, like you guys can be very open with each other and can have such a good time together, can have a really fun, adventurous time and be very spontaneous, do a lot together, experience a lot together, explore, adventure together. If you have kids, this person is okay with being a step parent, again, with influencing this child, with having fun, like introducing just a good time. Like whenever they're with this kid, with this child, they just want to have a good time. They just want to have so much fun and like do a bunch of stuff, do like new things and be supportive, like be a good influence, be very nurturing, very gentle, very kind. This person, it's like a really good mix of energy here, I think. But yeah, that sounds awesome. It sounds really good. The energies for love for 2023. This person just wants to be like so generous with you, so kind, and wants to just like live life and experience life with you and try to like make everything work. Like, you know, they want to try to make everything come together very cohesively, bring their life and your life together in a way that's very balanced, that, you know, they just want things to work. Like they're willing to merge your lives together and like in a way that is going to be very well balanced, in a way that, you know, everyone's going to be happy, where it's going to work. They are just so attracted to you. I can't like express that enough. This person thinks you are fine. They think you are sexy. They love you. They are just so heavily attracted to you. They melt over you. They just think you're everything, and they want to be there for you in every way, and they are willing to make any adjustments as needed to merge your lives together, to come together. This person feels very like strong in their energy, like they're almost like very adamant about this. It's like they know you're their person and they want this to work, and they're willing to do whatever it takes. Like even if you have like issues, like trust issues, or you've been through things, so you're a slow mover, like they don't care. Like they're like, we'll work through it. I'm here. What do you need? Like they're down to like, they really want this to work out. They really want this to work for like with you. So they're willing to do what it takes because they're just so attracted to you. They're being so heavily pulled towards you. They really, really want this, okay? That's for love. That was awesome. Let's move on to career. What can you expect in career 2023? Okay, we have the Five of Cups. We got an extra card for you guys for career. So we have the Ten of Pentacles, the Two of Pentacles, and last but not least, the Three of Pentacles. Okay, so I'm trying to get them all straight, but that's probably going to be impossible. Okay, so let's see what we have. Okay, so as far as career goes, I don't know. It looks like you might be like going through some kind of like a disappointment in career. Maybe you're kind of like feeling like you don't have the best luck right now in career, like things really aren't moving or progressing how you want them to, or you're not happy with the direction of career, just with like the situation as far as career is concerned. Okay, so maybe you're like coming into the year with this energy of like, oh, things just haven't really been working out, and kind of like with a sadness. But I feel like things are really gonna shift for you this year. 2023 is looking really good for you. I just feel like all of a sudden things are just going to take a turn for you. Like things are going to change. Where you were feeling sad, you are now going to be feeling happy. You are now going to be feeling complete and whole. If you weren't making a lot of money, you know, in career, it's like it's going to be coming in now. Like you're going to be able to make money that is solid, that is stable, that you can rely on. You're going to be able to build your bank account. If you're like trying to like save up enough money to like get a home, I'm seeing that happening here. I'm seeing that that's a possibility here. I'm seeing that a lot of your disappointment had to do with like the way that things were. If you remember how this reading began, it was like you were the type of person that you're very nurturing, you're very compassionate, you're very fair. You know, you want to keep things very, like you don't like to rock the boat. You like to keep everything very comfortable. But it's like something about the way that you were handling things was keeping something that was toxic alive, you know, whether it was like other people weren't stepping up to the plate as much as they could have, or as much as they should have, or as much as they were expected to. You were choosing to like kind of turn the blind eye, or like try to be understanding or something. Maybe you were enabling, you know, bad behavior, or you were throwing yourself under the bus and like, you know, you trying to stay balanced and stay peaceful with everyone. You weren't like granting yourself balance and peace. And I just feel like you holding on to toxic things, toxic situations was affecting your career. Maybe it was happening at the job, like in your work, you know, and that's why you were so unhappy, because like it just felt like things weren't fair, or it felt like you were completely drained, like you had so much responsibility to take on that you weren't able to like focus and dedicate enough energy onto your career to like get it to progress and to a place where you were happy. Whatever it is, I feel like something was influencing you to not be happy in career. And I think it has to do with you. Like, you're seeing this, you're gathering this information, like, oh, I see now that I'm the problem. The problem is me. I'm hearing Taylor Swift. You're realizing, like, oh, I'm the problem. Like, it's my actions. It's the way I, handle certain things. These are my wounds or my triggers, or these are, the things that are holding me back, the things that are keeping me bound. And it had like an influence in your emotional state. And it's coming out here in the career section of this reading. So it was affecting your emotional state in career. Whereas when you're able to work through these things and find healthier strategies to cope, healthier ways to respond to certain things, when you start just seeing the truth about yourself and like how you operate and how you tick and how you handle certain situations, and when you really like commit to getting better, when you commit to finding healthier ways to go about things, it's going to affect your emotional state. So maybe it's not so much like that your job was bad. Maybe it was just like your state of being. Like, you were drained, you were unhappy, just like overall, and you being able to like take a good look at yourself and to work through the things that were problematic within yourself, and to commit to this work and to get better, to do better, to approach certain situations better, you're becoming happier. And when you're happier, you're in like a higher vibrational state then to attract more abundance and more positivity into your life. Possibly even to like notice it more. It's like, even if it was there in the past, like even if we have all of the money in the world and all of the, success in the world, if you're not happy, you're not gonna enjoy it, because at the end of the day, like, money and success and all of that, it doesn't bring us happiness. Happiness is an inside job, those things are all external things that can influence our happiness, of course, but it's not what makes us happy. It's like you have to have like a strong, solid foundation inside of being able to cultivate happiness within yourself, being able to choose happiness every day, being like at peace with yourself, with your life, with your circumstances, so that you just kind of have like this optimistic outlook. That's why, so many rich people are miserable, and so many people that maybe don't have all of the money in the world are so much happier than a lot of like millionaires. They're enjoying life so much more just because they're more at peace, they're more present. So their quality of life is even better than that of a millionaire, for example, because the millionaire doesn't know how to cultivate their own happiness, doesn't know how to be present in the moment and how to be grateful for what's right in front of them. They don't know how to see the beauty of it, They might just end up wanting more and more and more and more. And of course, this is just an example. This isn't all millionaires. And then they realize that that's not the answer. So I feel like you taking care of your emotional state is just going to shift everything as far as career goes. Like, you could be in a position right now where career really isn't going great. And that's why you're unhappy, because you're like, nothing is moving, everything is messed up. I'm getting no business, I'm making no money, or whatever. I'm not making enough money, or I'm just not happy with my circumstances, where things are going to shift, things are going to change. You are finally going to like merge with a situation that you're happy with a situation that brings you a lot of happiness, like that you're going to consider like your dream. You're like, oh my gosh, this is my dream situation. You might even work from home, but I just see a shift. Like, you're going from feeling one way to feeling the entirely different opposite way. So you're going from like sadness and disappointment to like happiness and bliss. Like, things are just going to start working out for you as far as career goes in 2023. And if it's not that, like if it's not that you're doing bad, it could be that you do have a great career, you do have a good amount of money already, but it's like that you are just maybe relying too much on external things to keep you happy, or you're unable to like access your inner happiness. And so even though you're successful already in career, it's like it doesn't feel that way, because you're not focusing on cultivating your own happiness, where you're going to take a look at that, at like your bad habits, at like the patterns that keep you back, that hold you back, that keep you sad. And you're really going to commit to doing better, to overcoming them, so that you can shift your internal state of being from one that is sad and depleted and disappointed to one that is abundant, full, and happy. The relationship that you're going to have in 2023, this love coming in, like could have a part to play with, like, you know, you're going to feel so happy. Of course, that's like an external thing, but I feel like that person is going to be really supportive and like really going to help you learn how to like cultivate that and learn how to be happy and learn how to see life as like so much fun and as an adventure and just be so grateful. And you're also going to cut off anything that's been draining to your energy, that's just hasn't been working. It's like you're cutting off all the toxicity out of your life. You're cutting off the toxicity. You're saying no more. You're not, you know, you're ready to like address things now, things that you have been putting off for a long time that you know hasn't been working, but it's like you've just let it continue. It's like you're not gonna just turn a blind eye to it anymore. You're not gonna let any of the stuff continue on any further. You're ready to face things, to change things. And in doing that, in committing to doing that, your emotional state is going to get so much better, and your career looks like it's going to thrive as a result of your emotional space. The fact that you're happy really affects your career. So keep yourself happy, choose happiness, because you being happy really positively influences the energy surrounding your career. I'm seeing that there's going to be a lot more cooperation, a lot more balance, a lot more like reciprocal energy, give and take. You're going to be surrounded by people that are like-minded. You guys are all going to complement each other. You're going to have support. So yeah, if you feel like you don't have any of these things, like it's gonna come. It's coming in. Things are changing. Things are shifting. It's like I'm seeing you doing like a complete 180. It looks really, really good. And the finances are definitely going to be there as well. You might have like an abundance of ideas too coming in. Your creativity might be like really high during this year, or you might be really busy with work, like you have a lot going on, a lot you have to work on, a lot that you have to do because you have so many ideas and you want to like put them all into motion. And so you might be very busy with career. You might be working a lot, but I'm seeing like that you're happy doing this and you're getting results. Even if sometimes it can be a little difficult and you can be a little bit exhausted. It's like now this exhaustion that you feel isn't because you're enabling bad behavior or you're just letting bad behavior slide or you're like picking up other people's slack. This exhaustion that's coming, it's because like you're working, because you're busy, because we're humans and we have these physical bodies that have limitations, you know, we only have like a certain amount of energy per day. So it's only natural that at some point you become exhausted, especially when you're as busy as you're going to be. So it's like a good exhausted, you know? It's not like before, like this exhaustion that even when you go to sleep and rest, it's like you can't shake it. This exhaustion is going to be because like you're actually like working hard and being disciplined and being determined and making moves. Okay, so be mindful of that whenever you're feeling tired. Make sure you take a rest. You give yourself space to rest so that you can be refreshed, so that you can keep going. Wow. Okay, so let's move on then to advice. What does Spirit want to leave you with? Any takeaways? Anything they want to highlight? Let's see. Ooh, they want to address like some kind of heavy energy, some type of like overthinking energy. Again, like we picked up in the beginning of the reading, you might be going through some kind of like ending, right? Maybe it's difficult. It's a difficult ending, like you having to like call people out or put people in their place or something like this. It's not easy and it might be chaotic and it might be tumultuous, but they're saying to just do what you have to do. Like, don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of putting your foot down, of making these changes. don't overthink it. Like the more you overthink it, the longer you're going to like be stuck. You know what I mean? Like in that painful energy, like just do what you have to do. You can't avoid the pain. They're saying like you can't run away from the pain. You can't avoid the pain. You have to go through it. You have to go through the fire. Don't be afraid to go through the fire. Don't sit there and overthink it, because the more you overthink it, the more you're just like making yourself suffer even more when you're just sitting there thinking about it and not taking any actions. So they're saying like instead of doing that, just take action. Don't sit there and think, and because like you're suffering even more. You know, like when you let it linger, when you let it like sit, don't do that to yourself. They're saying like, don't do that to yourself. I feel like you might have a habit of doing that, like of just kind of suffering, like sitting in your own suffering. And they're saying like, you don't have to do that. If you just take the actions, yes, it's going to hurt and it's going to suck and it's going to be painful, but it's like, at least you're not just like ruminating in it. It's like you're taking actions, so you can move forward, so you can eventually get out of it and see the other side instead of just like sitting in it. You know what I mean? Because the longer you're sitting in it, like the more you're hurting yourself. Whereas if you just keep moving, yeah, it's gonna hurt, but it's like at least you're getting closer to the finish line. At least you're getting closer to your new beginning. So they're saying just take that action, take the actions you need to take, plan things out, and, you know, move it forward. Like put it into motion. Do what you have to do. Commit to this. They're telling you that like the things that you worry about, the things, you know, that have tension, the conflict that you feel, like these are messages. These are things that you need to cut out. Wherever you feel conflict and tension and like just combative type of an energy, they're saying this is where you need to make cuts. Cut your losses. Just cut it. Cut the dead weight. Because once you're able to do that, there's victory waiting for you on the other side. Okay, I feel like you're afraid of like cutting your losses because like you're afraid of like not having anything. Like you're like, yeah, this isn't working out, but if I cut this out, then what am I gonna have? I'm gonna be left with nothing, and that's so far from the truth. You're just creating space, making way for more abundance, for something better to come in, for something more stable and long-lasting and reliable, something that's going to feel so much better. Okay, so they're saying to be strong, to see this through, to persevere. You got this. You're strong enough to do this. Yes, it's going to be difficult. You might be worn out, exhausted, but it's going to be so worth it. It's something that needs to happen for you to move forward, to be mentally more stable, and to align with your path and with your purpose and with what's truly meant for you. Okay, so that was the advice from Spirit. Those were your messages. I truly hope these messages have served you. This honestly looks like an amazing 2023 for you. Of course, you know, all of the good stuff that we talked about, it doesn't come without of its challenges. It usually doesn't, but you are strong enough. You can do this. Remember, I also do offer personal readings if you would like to dive deeper into your specific situation or need any more guidance or clarity. I would love to connect and work with you. Thank you so much for watching. Wishing you all the best, and I hope to see you around here again soon. Take care. Bye. Hey guys, welcome to your reading. If you selected number 3 or this deck right here, we're going to be looking into your 2023 predictions. What can you expect, generally speaking, for 2023? What can you expect in love and career? And then we will be closing off the reading with some advice from Spirit. So let's go ahead and get started right away with general energies. Let's see what themes could be coming up this year, what you could be working through or working on. Our first card. But yeah, this is a new camera angle and I really like it so far. I am still like adjusting to it though on my end over here. Let me know how you guys like it. I think it's better because you can see all of the cards this way. 2 more cards, please, for general energies for 2023. All right. So let's see, what can you expect, generally speaking, from 2023? This is really interesting. It looks like to me that you guys are going to be embarking like on some kind of new path. It looks like new path in career or something like this. A new path when it comes to career or when it comes to like what you believe in, what you're studying, what you're learning. It's kind of like taking a different look at something that you already know. So it's like something that you already know, something that you've already studied, that you've gathered like a lot of experience in or knowledge in, but interacting with it from a different perspective or differently than you have yet to interact with it is what I'm getting. So it's kind of like doing whatever it is that you're doing, because it looks like whatever it is that you do, that you're learning, that you're studying, that you teach, it could be also like a tradition that you follow or some kind of responsibility that you have or some kind of like really strong core belief that really influences like, ooh, whoops, that really influences like a lot of your life. The beliefs or teachings that you follow, that you live by. It's like you're learning how to interact with it in a different way. So if you thought that you kind of had something locked down, kind of like got comfortable with the way that you were doing something, it's like you're about to change it up in some way. It's about to shift. It's about to become like new again in some way. It might be that you got bored or something. Like that's what I'm seeing here. It's like something that you've built up already, something that you're established in, that you have experience in. It's like it became maybe monotonous, or maybe, you know, it just became like a bunch of platitudes that you started following, like just a bunch of like dead beliefs or something like this. It's kind of like, think of, this is just an example, but like, you know, think of like the Buddhist teachings, the Four Noble Truths, and like the Eightfold Path, knowing these things like from the top of your head, like knowing about the truth of suffering and the truth about the cause of suffering and the truth about the end of suffering and the truth about the path that leads to the end of suffering. But it's kind of like you just have these things in your head without really like connecting to it, without really like experiencing it, or without really like living it out. Where I think this year you're going to really connect with something. Like you're going to have like a living experience with something, and you're going to create like a relationship to it, where it's not just like something like that you just read or that you have memorized, something that you understand with your intellectual mind, but now it's something that you can relate to, that you can connect to on a way deeper level than just, you know, out of memory, like things that you memorize and remember and repeat. It's like you're going to have a deeper connection with the things that you've learned or are learning, or are a part of your belief system, is a part of how you live your life. You know, has to do with like your spiritual beliefs or your religious beliefs, or even like traditions that you follow. Like for example, Christmas, you know, it's like, yeah, every December, getting the tree and decorating the tree and, you know, getting the gifts and planning out the dinner, where there's not really like a real true heartfelt connection to that. It's just like, it's just you're going through the motions. It's just like what you do. Where I feel like in 2023, things are just going to start being like so much more meaningful for you. Like it's no longer just about going through the motions, doing what you normally do, what's expected, what's the norm, what's the tradition. Like it's now like breaking free from whatever the tradition is and actually connecting with the celebration on a deeper level, and maybe even creating like your own new traditions possibly, you know, like breaking out of like any of the old traditions and implementing like your own take, like your own spin on it, or like a different spin, like a different perspective. because I think you might be becoming a little bit bored with it, or it's just becoming like lackluster. It's just becoming like, I don't know, like I'm not feeling connected to this anymore. It's like opening up your mind and being able to be more flexible and more open to like look at something in a different way, to experience it in a different way, like in a more open way. Because I also feel like it's very rigid, maybe like your beliefs or how you do things, or like what you live by, or what you've learned, the education you've gotten, it's like it's become so rigid that you feel like something is lacking, something is missing. And I think what's missing here is like your relationship to it, the way you connect to these teachings, how you relate to these teachings, where you're no longer taking something for face value or taking something so literally, or just repeating text, but it's like it's going to have like its own unique meaning to you, or its own unique purpose. It's just the way that you relate to it is going to differ, because that's the truth for all of us, really. It's a constant relating. It's about meeting life and not pretending to be above it. It's being able to learn through life, to learn through our relationships, to be authentic, to continue to have epiphanies, but to understand that it's never a finite thing. It's a constant awakening, a constant growing. And it's being able to respect relational energy. Because when you can do this, this is when our own creative energy can expand, when we can start having like more equal give and take, where there's not like an over application of masculine energy in areas where it's inappropriate. You're no longer going to be applying logic when what you should be doing is relating. It's like removing the transactional aspect of things and instead learning to have like a relationship with it. Tuning in more to like your heart space, to your social intelligence, and learning how to relate, learning how to connect, how to really like sink into your heart space so that you can more easily be able to do this. It's like instead of trying to intellectualize religious teachings or spiritual teachings and try to understand them with the intellect only, we're learning to have a relationship with spirit. We're learning how to properly apply what we know. Because I think you're going to be reaching like a plateau somewhere. Like the way that you're doing things, the way that you're going about things, it needs like a refresh. You're going to find yourself kind of like stuck. Like there might be a situation that comes up where you're just like, like your teachings or whatever, like your beliefs, it's not going to help you. It's like, you're going to notice like it's what's hindering you, or like something doesn't make sense here, or like, like something is misaligned here. It's going to show you an area where you're misaligned potentially, where something just isn't clicking, and you're going to need to have a different approach. It's going to be like your initiation into seeing things differently, into perceiving things differently, like having to, like getting to the point where you have to, like getting to the point where you're realizing that there is a missing puzzle piece to what you've learned, or what you believe, or how it is that you live your life. It's like you're noticing that you're missing something. And the way that everybody relates to spirit and connects to spirit is totally unique, and I think you're finding like your unique communication and language to spirit, or to your beliefs, teachings, understandings, to whatever it is that you've like built up, like whatever it is that's very like developed. It could be whatever you went to school for, whatever you studied, whatever you spent years like gaining education on, gaining knowledge on. It could be in terms of just like traditions, again, religious or spiritual beliefs. It could even be about relationships here as well, about how you teach others, how you guide others, how you lead, potentially how you parent even is a possibility here. Whatever resonates for you, I feel like there's going to be like a need to refresh, to rethink things over, to look at things from a fresh perspective, from a different perspective, from a new outlook, to kind of have like a beginner's mind again, or to be open-minded, to be more flexible. Because wherever this is happening, it's somewhere where you're kind of like really rigid and like really like dead set on being this way, And there's a need here for you to kind of like be flexible, to open up your mind a little bit, to reconsider, to be open to change your mind, to see things in a different way, to relate and connect to things in a different way. Because I think traditions are good, you know, traditions connect us to our roots or to like a solid foundation. It's kind of like something that we don't ever really deviate from. And it can be a good thing, but sometimes they need to be outgrown, you know? Sometimes like it's no longer working anymore. And that's what I'm seeing here. Could be a possibility. It's like you're figuring out like this tradition is no longer working. So for example, there's that story about the Christmas ham. It's pretty popular. You've probably heard of it, but it's like a story that the family every Christmas, they make a ham. And it's kind of like a difficult thing to make, but it's tradition. So it's like it's very important for this family to follow this recipe that's been done for many, many years. And because it's being cooked like in a certain dish, the original dish that it was first originally cooked in, it's like one of those really tedious kind of recipes where you have to like take out the ham and check it and flip it and so that it doesn't burn and all of this stuff. So it's kind of like a really hard process to make this ham. And one day, like somebody in the family brought over a guest, and the guest just, you know, casually asks like, well, why are you making the ham in that dish? You know, like it's clear that that dish is too small for that ham. If you guys just used a bigger dish, like it wouldn't be so hard. You can just like stick it in the oven and like it'll be done easily. And the response was because this was the dish that like our great-great-great-grandmother used when this tradition even like started. So it's important that we use this dish. And then when they reflect on like, oh, well, why is this the dish that she chose? They came to the conclusion like that it was the only dish that she had at the time. So now, you know, fast forward all of those years later, they are no longer like as limited as their great-great-great-grandmother was at one point. Now they have, you know, more options, bigger dishes that could make that whole like cooking process just so much more comfortable. And they realize like, oh my gosh, like, are we making this harder on ourselves than what it needs to be? Like the reason why she used this dish is because she didn't have any other dishes, but we do, you know? So it's kind of like when something needs to be outgrown because it's just what makes sense, you have to be open to it and to accept it and to, you know, like accept a new way, a different way that is more fitting for now, you know, for this moment in time. So they realize in that moment that all of this time they've been, you know, struggling with this recipe, and they really didn't have to. They don't have to struggle anymore. It doesn't have to be like this hard thing anymore to maintain, to keep up with. So it's kind of like the same thing here, where it's like something is outgrown, like it's time to expand. It's time to like relate to something in a different way. It's time to allow a new way that is going to make things like easier, or not necessarily easier, but that just makes more sense for the time being, you know? So it's just like parting ways with something that you're used to doing like in a certain way and that you feel like really strongly about, and being able to be flexible and being able to approach it with a brand new set of fresh eyes, you know, like with a fresh perspective, with a beginner's mind. Be flexible enough to change something that you've been doing or believing for a long time. Changing the way it's done, changing the way you relate to it, shifting perspectives, being more open to see it from another light, to shift your beliefs as needed. So yeah, that's the gist for the general energy of what you can expect for 2023. So it looks like a brand new like awakening, like a discovery, you know, and not being stubborn, but just accepting that it's time to look at this in a different way. Okay, so let's move on then to love. What can you expect in love for 2023? Okay, so I see you being like super attractive this year. Like you're going to be very magnetic, just very desirable. Like a lot of people might perceive you as being like kind of like a wish fulfillment, or a lot of people could picture a life with you, picture a home with you, could identify you as being like the perfect partner to have. A lot of people might just be very attracted to you, very interested in what you're doing, whatever you do, like whatever your gifts are, whatever it is that you brings you attention. I feel like you do something that kind of makes people interested in you, or interested in what you're doing or saying, or something like this. But I do see you in a very defensive energy. So even though you are kind of looking very attractive, very appealing, you're attracting a lot of suitors or a lot of, potential love interests. I kind of see that you're kind of like in your own little bubble. You don't want to be disturbed. You're kind of very protective of yourself at this time or during this year, is the way that it's showing up here with these cards. I feel like you just want peace. That's what it looks like. It looks like you have a lot of people that are kind of like vying for your attention, that are trying to talk to you, communicate with you, send you messages, invite you to things. And you're just like trying to keep your peace, trying to stay centered, trying to stay balanced. And I feel like that's what's going to bring you happiness this year, is just like peace, and a lot of rest, and a lot of alone time, and a lot of time to yourself to reflect, to replenish, to think things over, to clear your mind. A lot of time needed here to fill your cup and to go through this change, because you are going through some kind of like a shift, some kind of a change here. Like it's like an alchemical change that's happening. It's like you're shifting from one thing to another, you're evolving, or you're expanding, or you're just changing here from the inside out. And it looks to be very healing, very spiritually guided, spiritually led. It's like a very internal, personal experience here. And I did see that, like you're cultivating like an entirely new, different way of relating to things, or relating to something, or you're integrating something here. There's like a deep shift happening inside of you where you're becoming more balanced, and you need a lot of time to yourself. You need to be like in your own energy. You need peace and quiet. So I feel like you're really going to be valuing this time to kind of go through like your little metamorphosis, or like to go through this shift, that you're going through, this evolution. I feel like you're going to be meditating a lot, like being very like silent, or just taking a lot of time for those things. Like that's definitely going to be a priority for you, and a big source of happiness for you. You're going to notice like the more that you do this, the more at peace you're going to feel. I feel like you might be like really sensitive this year, where you're not going to want to be around like a lot of people, because it might just be disruptive to like this process that you're going through. This process seems to be like very sensitive, and it's making you like more sensitive. And I feel like you just don't want to absorb like other people's energy, or you don't want to be like disrupted during this time. Like it's really important for you to just kind of be undisturbed, so that you can go through whatever shifts and changes you need to go through, whatever healing process you need to go through, like in peace, so that you can reach like whatever peak it is that you need to reach, like the other side of this. I just feel like you're going to be like a different person. You're going to have like a more elevated perspective. It's like more puzzle pieces are coming together. A lot more is making sense. A lot more is being revealed, is being shown to you. And you're elevating in some way here. And it is going to require you to just kind of take it really easy, to be in stillness and calmness and quiet. I'm hearing vipassana, which I think it's like when you don't speak for like days, like when you're just like silent and you don't even speak, because it's like a mindfulness practice. So I just feel like you're going to be like in silence a lot this year, but it's going to be really good for you. Like it's really going to be very enlightening. I just feel like you're gonna open your heart, something about the solar plexus as well here. something having to do like with your confidence. You're going to become more confident in something, more strict in something here. Like you're going to be connecting to your heart. It's like you're going to be regulating your lower chakras, balancing those out, cleansing those out, doing some major healing work when it comes to the lower centers. And doing this work is going to allow you to like access higher levels, is going to allow you more access to your heart space. I feel like you're just trying to access your heart space. And I also see like crown chakra activity too. So something about these chakras looks significant to me. I'm seeing specifically solar plexus, heart, and crown. And then right here, I'm also seeing like her hand is being highlighted here. So maybe something having to do with the hands. And then I'm hearing hand, head, and heart. I know I've read something about that, hands, heart, and head. I'm trying to remember. But I think there's like some kind of a connection there with that, where you have to like use your logic, but also connect to the heart. Like they're all supposed to be in sync, like your head, heart, and hands, like your actions, what you do with your hands should be in sync with your head and your heart. Because a lot of times it's not, A lot of times people have like a disconnection with those things. And I think it's like you're learning here how to connect those things in a healthy, balanced, and aligned way where it's going to be very like authentic and genuine and true. So yeah, I just feel like you're going through some kind of like process here that's going to help you connect the head, the heart, and the hands. And for whatever reason, this is showing up here for love life. But yeah, I think, like head, like knowledge, being able to connect your knowledge with your heart and letting that influence the actions that you take and how you apply whatever it is that you're learning, So it's kind of like finding a harmony with the intellect, with your emotional state, and with your actions. So I think you're more so like gonna be in a relationship with spirit for 2023. You're just like in a relationship with the divine, with God, with something higher, something that's helping you to like have a breakthrough, to evolve, to elevate. And if you do have someone, I am seeing someone here that's inspiring this within you, maybe. Maybe you're watching someone that already can do this, and the more you observe this energy, like the more you can take from it, or like the more you learn from it too, is a possibility as well. But I do see you being very successful, and I do see your actions being like very in line and very in tune with, your heart. It's like once you're able to bring all of these aspects harmoniously together, something beautiful is really going to come out of this. But I do see you like a beginner, like you're just like a beginner, you're just learning. And yeah, it just looks like you're being enlightened in some way here. But yeah, honestly, like I'm not seeing a lot of romance. I am seeing a union, but I think it's like with the divine. And if it's with someone else, it's like at a distance. It's like you're just observing something from a distance, like from a healthy distance, like you're still in your own little bubble. I'm seeing you being like more alone for this year, which is awesome if you ask me, right? Like you're in a healthy relationship with the divine and a loving union and a loving partnership with the divine. That's beautiful. I think that's, the most important relationship really that we can interact with and that we can put effort into. So that's beautiful. It looks like a very spiritual year for you. A lot of growth, internal development, evolution, just like breakthroughs, and you're just going to be a different person by the end of this year. So let's look into career. What's coming up for you for career then? And one more. Oh gosh, I got a lot more. Okay, we'll take them. Let's see, 1, 2. What's this one? And then we have these. We have these 3. So I guess I'll put them here. So I do see, like, your career is definitely, there's going to be like some kind of like a renewal energy here, which makes sense with what we've been discussing, right? Like, you're going through like some huge shift, some huge change. You're noticing where something has been restricting that wasn't always restricting, it wasn't always restricting. It got you to where it needed to get you, and now it's just time to outgrow it. Now it's got to the place where it's restricting, like it helped you as far as it could help you, and now it's at the point that it's restricting you. So now it's like you've outgrown it. You need to be able to release it, and this is affecting your career as well. I'm not surprised. I was kind of like picking up on that from like the first section of this reading. So I think it is influencing your career, just like what you're going through on a personal level, on an internal level. You're just going through like a major wake-up call here. I feel like you hear the angels singing, and you're closing out a cycle. You're leveling up, and this change is going to be reflected in probably all aspects of your life and how you do things, generally speaking, in your romantic relationships and in your career as well. And it looks like a really happy change. I feel like you're going to feel liberated, you're going to feel free, you're going to feel very strong within yourself, very confident within yourself, and you're going to feel really good about the work that you're doing, really confident about the work that you're doing. I feel like the moves you make, the actions you take are going to change. It's like you're going in a new direction. So whatever you were doing before, whatever your plans were before, I feel like you're moving in a whole different direction. You're seeing like a new pathway, a new perspective. You're making different plans, and it's beautiful. With this 10 of Cups here, it's like it's wish fulfillment, it's bliss. It feels like you're happily ever after. It just feels like complete emotional well-being, happiness to like the maximum capacity. You're just being merged into your purpose, into fulfillment, whatever that is for you. I don't know why, I'm just like noticing, is that music? Is that a music note? What is that? That's a music note, right? I've never noticed that before in this card. Do you see that? Where was this? So I don't know, music, maybe music has something to do with it. And this Queen of Wands over here, like it could be a performer too. So maybe, I don't know, maybe you do music, or music has something to do with this. And then we have the Death card. So, and with the Judgment card here, that's also like, I consider that to be like a scorpionic energy as well. So there are like cycles closing out, shifts. I feel like whatever you had planned here, whatever like you had plans, whatever you were doing, whatever you were building up, it's like you're ending it. Like there's an ending happening here, like a death happening, because like you're going on a different path. Like your eyes is like you're looking dead at your like happiness, at your wish fulfillment. So it's like something just became really like clear to you here with this Judgment card. It's like you got some kind of an awakening. Now I'm hearing Beyonce Halo, which came up in another like reading I did. I think it was on IG. It was like a written messages reading I did. But I'm getting that song. It's like I've been awakened. Every rule I had you breaking. It's the risk that I'm taking. I ain't never gonna shut you out. Everywhere I'm looking now, I'm surrounded by your embrace. Baby, I can see your halo. You're my saving grace. You're everything I need and more. It's written all over your face. Baby, I can feel your halo. My God, there's like a halo right. Yo, this reading like right now. But yeah, it's like that song said. It's like I've been awakened. Every rule I had, you breaking. It's the risk that I'm taking. I ain't never gonna shut you out. Everywhere I'm looking now, I'm surrounded by your embrace. Baby, I can see your halo. You know you're my saving grace. You're everything I need and more. It's written all over your face. Baby, I can see your halo. Pray it won't fade away. I can see your halo. Halo, I can see your halo. Halo. Wow. And then it says like something about, hit me like a ray of sun, burning through my darkest night. You're the only one that I want. Think I'm addicted to your light. I don't know. I feel like that song has a lot of messages for you. It's just going perfectly with these cards. Yeah. So whatever you had planned, whatever, was what you were taking action towards, accomplishing, I just feel like you're shifting. Like it's shifting now because you found something else that's just way more happier for you, way more fulfilling. It's like you've been awakened, everywhere you're looking now, you're surrounded by this. Like I'm surrounded by your embrace, like spirit is like surrounding you with whatever experience you're going through now. It's like shifting and it's changing everything for you. And maybe it is kind of difficult, with this death card here, maybe it is kind of difficult to kind of like close the door on something that you were so sure about, like a way that you were living that was so developed and established. And it's like now it's almost like you're doing things completely differently and you never thought that this was going to happen, but it's for the best. Like it's beautiful. It's totally divine. And so much having to do with your heart, with this strength card here. This is the Leo card, and Leo is the heart. You're moving closer to your true purpose, where maybe it was a little like skewed before, or you couldn't properly see it, or it just felt like something that was bothering you in the background. Like you always felt like something wasn't right, but maybe you couldn't put your finger on it, or you couldn't pinpoint it. Or maybe you could, but you just didn't want to look at it. You were stubborn, you were too stubborn, you were too stuck in your ways to look at it. And now it's like you're awakening and you're able to face this and find a real solution to this that's really merging you with your divine path and purpose, with what you're really meant to do and where your true fulfillment lies. Like you're being merged to that through this whole process that's happening here. And it's beautiful. Wow. So yeah, I think like there is like an opening of the heart chakra. You're going to be able to connect to your heart more. When you can do this, when you can connect to your heart, this is like when you can really merge with your purpose. It's like when you can connect to your heart. You're not, just like following old philosophies anymore, or any like conditioned psychological beliefs that you may have had. It's like you're stripping that all away. You're connecting to your heart. You're finding your purpose, what's the truth for you, your own uniqueness, your own authenticity, and being able to find this by using the moral compass of the heart. So you can be able to discern what is right and what is wrong, according to divine justice, to cosmic law. So it is a process that's asking you to reflect and to really look at who you are and what your motives are, and what would your heart look like on the scales of karma, like how pure is your soul. And it's about being able to reflect on yourself using the spirit of the heart. And this is what's going to place you on your true path, and what's going to align you to like your true purpose, your true calling. It's like you're becoming, you're blooming, like all of this time, maybe you thought you were, I don't know why I thought of the word daffodil in my head. It's like all of this time you thought you were just like a daffodil. And really, you're like a sunflower, with this Leo card, with this strength card. It's like you're a sunflower, but you thought you were something else. And now you're realizing like, no, I'm actually a sunflower, something like that. I also correlate the Queen of Wands to sunflowers too. So I think that's a good example. I don't know where daffodil came from, okay? Like, I don't even know what a daffodil is. Like, what does it look like? Anyway, I'll look it up later, but it's funny, that's what I heard. But yeah, it's like, that quote, the flower doesn't know it's a flower until it blooms. It's like you didn't know you were a sunflower until you bloomed. And like now you're able to see what you truly are. And so when you know what you truly are, you can better support yourself, like you know what it needs to thrive and to grow. It's like you're learning what you truly are. This is beautiful. This is so beautiful. It's definitely like a leveling up. You're definitely undergoing like this major process of just becoming, awakening, renewal, a process of renewal. You're cutting off what you thought you were. It's like everything you thought that you were so sure about, that looks so developed already. It's like it's changing. It's just all of a sudden it's changing. And it's for the best, it's for the better. It's like you're seeing the truth about yourself and you're able to accept it now and understand it, and you're able to relate to it and connect to it. And being able to do this it's going to influence every part of you, your actions, how you perceive, how you think, how you see things, just all of it. Wow. That's a beautiful message. Pile number 3, I have to say, I think this might be the most profound one. So let's move on to spiritual advice. We already got one. Let's move on to spiritual advice. We got the Knight of Pentacles, the Chariot. Let's see what Spirit wants to leave you with. Anything they want you to take away, anything they want to highlight, just any advice they want to give you. Okay, well, look at this. We got the Sun and the Moon. Look at that. And then in the Temperance card, he's holding the Sun and the Moon. So that's like a synchronicity right there. See? Crazy. Okay. So much Sun energy, so much Leonine energy. There's a lot of Leo energy, a lot of heart activation, like heart chakra balance and activation happening here. Okay, so the advice from Spirit is to stay committed. Okay, this is something that you have to like show up for continuously every single day. Be disciplined, determined. Just stay on your path, stay committed, stay focused, show up, because the more diligent you can stay, I feel like the quicker this process is going to move for you. Like the more you can commit, the more dedicated you can be to this, like you're going to notice like very quick changes and shifts happening in a really good way. It's going to feel like things are starting to make sense. It's going to feel more and more like you're on path. It's becoming clearer and clearer, the road ahead of you, because maybe you're just so like unsure and unclear, and it, you could hesitate sometimes, and then maybe you can kind of revert back into like your old ways, the ways that you were doing things before, or your old beliefs or your old patterns. And it's like the more that you can dedicate yourself to this new way, the more clear things are going to become, the more like confident you'll be on your journey. Okay, Spirit is definitely saying that you have to stay like very open and like very trusting, because sometimes it might feel like, you're heading in the wrong direction, or you might feel like you're heading towards like a major loss, or like you're heading, like it might not feel all the way secure. And Spirit is saying, there has to be like a level of trust here. So don't like let other people's like energy influence you. Do what you're being called to do, what you're being guided to do. Don't be afraid, even when it doesn't feel secure. They're saying, stay the course, keep going, continue, stay in your process. Because I do think that you have to go through like some difficulties, right? Like you have to go through your shadow, through some kind of like haziness or confusion. You have to learn how to navigate those spaces. And if you're brave enough and courageous enough to go there and to be able to look at yourself and observe yourself, observe your patterns, your behaviors, and understand yourself, you're going to come out on the other side of this successful and so healthy. And you're going to be so happy that you did this work, that you followed Spirit, that you balanced yourself out in this way. Because I think like you're truly like moving towards liberation. It's like you're liberating yourself in some way. And when I say liberating yourself, that means like you're truly the one in charge. You're truly the one in control. Not any of your behaviors, patterns, traumas, wounds, harmful core beliefs, conditioning, none of that. It's like you're going to be able to work through those things, see those things clearly, and you're going to be able to free yourself from those things and truly be liberated, truly be operating from a place of sovereignty. You're turning on the light within. It's like you're turning on your light. You're becoming the king or queen of your castle, truly, in a very authentic way, because it's coming from the heart. And this is like the highest wisdom that we can operate from, that we can move from, is the one from the heart. You're moving from a place of intellect and into the heart space, where everything you do, everything you say, all the actions you take, this is where it's coming from. This is where it's emanating from. Your true inner being, and not the unconsciousness of your ego, but from your true self, your true inner self. And it's so beautiful. It feels so light. It feels so free. It feels very youthful, very childlike. And just wow, this was a beautiful reading, a beautiful message. So yeah, pile number 3, these were your messages. I truly hope they served you. I want to remind you that I also do offer personal readings. If you would like to dive deeper into your specific situation, I will leave my information below. I will be more than happy to work with you if you feel like you need any more clarity or guidance or direction. This year is looking like one of true transformation for you, one of true liberation, and that is just amazing. Congratulations. Stay on path. You definitely won't regret it. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you around here again soon. Until next time, bye.